What if the cheapest ETF on paper isn't the one that actually makes you the most money? In Europe, a 0.3 percentage point tax twist can flip the leaderboard. Stay tuned to find out which S&P 500 ETFs really come out on top in 2025 and why. Hey everyone, I'm Josh and welcome back to Investing in the Web. Today, we're ranking the very best S&P 500 ETFs available to European and UK investors right now, digging into costs, performance, and the hot debate between physical and synthetic replication. Quick reminder, this video is for education, not financial advice. Always do your own research. The S&P 500 consists of the leading 500 publicly traded US companies. It includes large, well-known companies such as Apple, Tesla, and Microsoft, just to name a few. While you can't directly buy the S&P 500 index, you can invest in an exchange-traded fund, ETF, that replicates the index's performance. For UK and European investors, it's important to note that you can't invest in US ETFs like VOO. Instead, there are Europe-specific ETFs that comply with European regulations. UCITS ETFs are the only S&P 500 trackers European brokers can legally sell you due to regulation. Americans, on the other hand, generally shouldn't buy UCITS funds. The IRS treats them as PFICs. Paperwork hell. And there are two replication styles. Physical, full sampling, the fund that actually owns all 500 stocks. Synthetic, swap-based, the fund holds a substitute basket and swaps its return with a big bank. Synthetic ETFs generally avoid US dividend withholding tax, saving up to 0.3% a year. That can add up. If you go to just ETF and rank all S&P 500 ETFs based on its 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year performance, you can see that swap-based ETFs take the lead. Best S&P 500 ETFs based on 1 year performance in euros, 3 year performance, and 5 year performance. Notice the pattern? Every period's podium is dominated by swap-based ETFs. Even though their TER, the annual fee, is higher than SPDR's rock-bottom 0.03% fee, the tax drag more than offsets the fee gap. Synthetic ETFs had an edge of around 2% over the best physical ETFs in the 3-year and 5-year periods. Notice, however, that this analysis was done considering returns in euros. But why do synthetic ETFs outperform? Dividend withholding tax. Physical Irish domiciled ETFs lose 15% of every S&P 500 dividend due to taxes. Synthetic ETFs legally avoid it under the current tax rules. Lower tracking error. They also tend to keep tracking error lower. The result, synthetic has been beating physical ETFs by 0.2 to 0.3% per year. Alright, now you know the best S&P 500 ETFs based on past performance and why, but which have the lower costs. If you focused just on costs, then the SPDR ETFs, both accumulating and distributing, are the cheapest of all, with 0.03% in TER, alongside UBS Core S&P 500 ETF. And if you're looking for the ETFs with the largest assets under management, the iShares Core S&P 500 UCITS ETF USD AC takes the lead with plus 100 euros billion under management. This is where the big money sits. Bigger funds mean tighter spreads and deeper liquidity. Handy if you invest big amounts. Now, something else that you need to know is the difference between accumulating and distributing ETFs. Accumulating, AC. Dividends are reinvested automatically. Great for compounding. Tax deferred in many EU countries. Distributing, DIST. Dividends paid out in cash. Useful if you need income or want to manage tax lots manually. If your local tax already hits reinvested dividends, accumulating products may still give smoother compounding. What about the currency? Should I go with a Euro or USD ETF? First of all, be aware that S&P 500 ETFs hold USD-denominated stocks. A euro-listed ETF just settles trades in euros. It doesn't hedge FX risk. If you want to eliminate FX swings, you need an explicit euro-hedged ETF. True euro-hedged ETFs exist, like Invesco S&P 500 euro-hedged 0.05% TER are, but expect a small extra fee. History shows hedging US equities hasn't added much after fees, so most long-term Europeans stay unhedged. Putting it all together, are you comfortable with swaps? If yes, you can pick a synthetic ETF. If not, go physical. Tax rules can change, so if you're a passive long-term investor, most likely physical is the best option for you. Need income? Choose a distributing ETF. Want to avoid taxes on dividends? Choose an accumulating ETF. Your home currency is the euro and you're worried about FX rates? Consider hedged, but expect a higher fee. The bottom line, synthetic S&P 500 ETFs still lead the scoreboard in terms of performance, but they are not the cheapest nor the most invested. The best decisions are born from knowledge, so feel free to do your own research on justetf.com. Here you can filter and rank dozens of different ETFs, just like we did for this video. Need more help? Contact us directly or leave a comment down below. Make sure to also check our step-by-step guides on how to invest in the S&P 500 on several brokers, including IBKR, eToro, Trading 212, DeGiro, and more. They are live in our channel. Drop a like if you learned something and let us know which ETF you use down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to be updated on the latest finance news. See you then.